morning, millennials. And welcome back to The Toast. Happy Wednesday, hump day, gargy pargy kind of day.
It is a gargy day, even though this week it is unfortunately giving, is it Thursday yet? Oh, is tomorrow Friday?
Hodgepodge of days.
No, it's just Wednesday, which I'm going to embrace. I'm going to bloom where I'm planted.
It's yours.
I'm going to look at the positives of this Wednesday, which does usher us into the latter half of the week. Does include Dear Toasters, my favorite segment ever.
By the way, it's Wednesday. It's also kind of like a big day in our house.
And it's a big day in our house because it's Charlie's birthday.
Let's take a moment. 1-year-old Charlie Barley. What a journey. What a time.
What a year.
Cerclage.
I know.
You've come so far. Let's take a minute. We don't ever take a minute to look back at things at a glance. We never do that.
No, the thing is, I know we do it all the time, but we actually never do it. That's why we make it such a joke when we do, because we're incapable of recognizing where we are in earnest.
So in an earnest way, let's recognize where we are.
Okay.
Charlie Barley, Farley, Larley, Sarley is 1 year old. What does that mean?
I guess it means the beginning of toddlerhood, though he's such a baby to me. Some
angel.
babies love being babies, and others are ready to be big men, sitting up, don't want to be treated like babies, don't want to be held like babies.
I feel like that's very much Levi Crevi energy.
Oh yeah, Levi is not a baby, never was a baby.
No, he literally came out of the womb jogging.
Yeah, I feel like Har was not super into baby things. He never even loved to be held like a baby. He liked to always be held vertically when you're getting him to sleep. Charlie is such a baby.
Moms love mom's angel.
Moms love mom's angel. He loves being a baby, and I love him being a baby. So it's crazy that he's 1 year. What a crazy year. It's honestly been a great year. It's been a great year. It's not a lot of sleep, but it's been awesome. So I'm so happy to celebrate him today. Do some special things for Charlie Barley.
Yeah, we're having tacos. Not a big deal.
We're having a taco night dinner party. That's our party.
Yeah, no, it's Taco Wednesday. It's going to be everything. And I haven't eaten tacos. When we say tacos, of course, we're not talking about authentic tacos.
We're talking about Old El Paso.
White
on
people
some ground
taco
chicken.
night.
I like a taco salad.
I feel like the way that everybody feels that I have to talk about Tariq El Moussa X amount of times per month in order to continue functioning.
Hit your quota.
I have to talk about Old El Paso at least once every quarter. I fucking love Old El Paso. We sent them a list for the grocery store. Do not come back with any other type of seasoning.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe it's better. I don't want it.
Yeah. Because it's not that we like tacos. It's that we like Old El Paso. It's not you go out and get tacos.
No. And I
guess you guys know I do sometimes. I only like breakfast tacos though. That's not tacos.
No, that's not tacos. I have seen on TikTok, I don't know the exact type of taco, but you dip it in that spicy sauce. And especially in LA, tacos is a whole culture. Mm-hmm. No, that's not what I'm talking about when I say tacos. I want yellow Old El Paso shells.
You're talking about Old El Paso.
Old El Paso brand everything. Shells, seasoning. I don't know what the hell else they make, but I want it all.
Yeah. I want it all. I want it. I want it. I want it.
Speaking of things that we want. No, that's not a good segue. Saturday is almost upon us, August 17th, our final live podcast, the Borgata Casino. We're, going out with a bang. We're going to see you guys in Atlantic City, New Jersey on Saturday. We cannot wait to see you all. Tickets are available at thetoastpodcast.com. Sorry, just had to slip that in.
No, that's so fun and so exciting. And that's kind of the rainbow at the end of this week that seems to never end, but now is in a good place because it's Wednesday, Dear Toasters, Charlie's birthday. And I'm of the ilk and of the mind that 1 year olds don't need a birthday party because it's really for you. And it's what's your ideal night to celebrate your, that's for my loaves. And
oh, Jackie made some big sourdough loaves and we've tasked Ben
to take them out. Now they're ready. Take out.
Yeah.
Because when I just took the lids off 10 minutes ago, they were shaping up to be some of my best loaves yet. And they're Charlie's birthday loaves so that he cannot burn them.
We can't let Ben be the reason.
No.
As if we need more to blame him on.
I wrote take out. He said, yep. Okay. We are good.
We're good.
So sorry you had to hear my alarm. That must have been jarring for you if you were sleeping.
No, that literally must be triggering. You ever hear an alarm and your day is ruined?
But just know it was for 2 gorgeous loaves for Charlie's birthday. And I think you'll be okay with what happened.
I don't have that problem anymore ever since I got the Hatch. This isn't an ad, even though they are a sponsor. Don't forget to use code TOAST. Ever since I got the Hatch, I don't have alarm PTSD. When you're using the iPhone alarms and then throughout the day, somebody's birth control alarm goes off, you're in hell, right?
Yeah.
It's nom, you hear the sounds again. I don't have that. I do sometimes when I hear it quite often, the song Good and Broken by Miley Cyrus. When me and Margot were in middle school and we shared a room, we woke up every morning on our flip phones to Good and Broken by Miley Cyrus. Are you, and before the lyrics came on, you would hear in your dream, you would hear the and you'd be like, why is this song playing in my dream? Are you overloaded, candy coated, your life's imploding? We weren't lying when we said like Miley Cyrus and Hannah Montana literally raised us. She woke me up for many years. And that's such a shame because that's such an incredible song and it totally ruined the song.
Yeah. For a long time, I woke up to Perfect Day by Hoku as, sort of
Of course you did.
As an aspirational, like sun's up.
Even though it's like winter in New York.
After 10.
You wish.
Make breakfast for my friends.
Sure. I thought it was make breakfast for myself.
I feel like she
leave
make
the
it
world for someone else. Like else and self rhyme better
leave
than
the work for someone. I feel like she makes breakfast for her friends, leaves the work for someone else. Like one of the friends can clean up because
like I cooked.
Whoever cooks doesn't clean, which is a rule I kind of don't stand by.
Well, let's talk about that because in our house, like we have a rule, like if you cook, you don't clean. And nobody takes more advantage of that than Ben. So he'll cook because he actually enjoys it, which like is also not fair. Then he'll he's, special in the way that he cooks. Like no pan left unused, no utensil
no pan left behind.
But then he really is like, and some people who cook, they're like, oh, let me at least help clear. No, Ben will literally sit and watch. And he's made such a pile of shit for us.
Can I
and
tell
then he'll
you,
also like throw it in our faces like, I made dinner. It's like, okay.
Can I tell you what else he's been doing that I don't know if you've noticed?
Yes.
You probably haven't noticed, but I've noticed keenly.
What?
It's pretty strategic. Like shout out to
Yeah,
them.
I know what you're about to say.
He does 4th of July.
Right before
cooking,
dinner.
And then that night he'll say, I'll make dinner for everyone. And so he leaves his 4th of July mess with the dinner mess. And all of a sudden we're all cleaning up 4th of July.
And he thinks we don't know, like we can't see the difference between what was fudge and what was dinner, but we can.
Because like, even though he's cooking for 4th of July, like you clean that up. You're really cooking for yourself. If someone else takes a bite of it, that doesn't mean that
count.
Now they have to clean it up.
No, that's why Ben's always like trying to get us to like try his stuff. Because then it's like, what do you mean? We all ate it. We all cook. I mean, we all clean. Just to clear it up. Sun's up. It's a little after 12.
Oh, wow. Sleeping in.
Make breakfast for myself. Leave the work for someone else.
People say.
They say that it's just a phase. They tell me to act my age. Well, I am. Just in case you were
it's like a
curious.
very aspirational way to wake up. Like this is going to be the perfect day. One thing about me, I'm not a morning person.
No, and I think for a while we all thought if we woke up to songs that we really enjoyed, like songs that truly boosted serotonin, perhaps we could undo a lot of the alarm trauma.
No,
And
it's just
made
going to
us
make you hate that song.
Good songs.
Though I've bounced back with Perfect Day because it's a bop through and through.
That's really, there are a couple songs that only exist in movies, right? Like we never heard them on the radio, but we know every word. Perfect Day is one of them. I feel like that I was listening in the car, this random song came on. I didn't even know it, but I knew every word. Hold on. It's very like early 2000s types of movies that always play that same song. Okay, like
we got more bounce in California than all your. They need to play that at the Olympics opening ceremony if they really want to make a splash.
by the way, that's like the vibe they were literally going for. Okay. Oh, fuck. Like I'm not gonna find what I'm looking for. It's called something about a bell.
I can hear the bell.
I wish.
That's a song from a movie that we know every word, but we never heard on the radio.
Yeah. Okay, no one's gonna.
Don't you hear him chime?
But there's like a genre of music that like literally just played in.
Yeah.
Okay, like this one. We're the kids in America.
Whoa.
We're the kids in America.
Whoa.
Everybody live for the music go round. I think that was in New York Minute featuring Mary-Kate and Ashley.
It was also in Riverdale.
Oh, of course it was.
And I think it's on the Clueless soundtrack.
Yep.
And that's another song that they should play at the Olympics opening ceremony.
Oh, I mean, also Party in the USA.
Totally.
We have a lot of ideas. If the Olympic IOC, if the International Olympic Committee wants to work with a couple of gals with their fingers on the trigger, fingers on the pulse.
Well, I think the LAOC needs us, the Los Angeles Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
Because they are in charge of the ceremony.
I'm excited. Oh, and something I wanted to clear up. Apparently, like the hosting country it's at their discretion what sports get added. So breakdancing was like a French thing they wanted to champion. And that obviously is like a shit stain on their resume. Like they will go down in history for making us watch that. LA has already said like, nah.
No thanks.
But they have added more things that are like kind of America coded.
Baseball, softball is coming back because it's important to America.
Yes. And somebody had said, I think there might be pickleball. Which would be so
So
LA.
many people sent me so many versions of like the same
Story.
graphic that explain what's coming back. Let me see if I saved one of them.
And I don't know. I don't feel like it should be up to the country. That feels like an unfair advantage. Like maybe breakdancing is huge in France and like nobody else does it.
But
Like
they didn't even win it.
I know, but like let's say pickleball is huge in America. I don't know if they play pickleball anywhere else. So adding it, like you're giving people 4 years to become the best.
Here's what's adding. Flag football. Why not football?
They really don't play it anywhere else. That's
But
what rugby
play
is.
flag?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, flag football is football, but like you don't tackle each other. You just grab someone's flag. Like,
And do you think that they'll tap any of the NFL players?
yes, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. I guess like Travis Kelce, who like he's the same at football as he is as flag football because he doesn't tackle. He just runs and catches.
Yeah. Then lacrosse. Oh, that's a big one.
Oh my
We're
God.
such a
So
lacrosse
lax.
country.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy for the lacrosse players who like play professional lacrosse and also work another job because it's not a job.
Totally.
Then baseball, which we know, softball for the girlies,
It's giving a league of their own.
cricket. Okay, British.
Yeah, okay. Like that's something when, London hosts, they can
And
handle.
squash. So no pickleball, but squash is like elevated
Classic.
pickleball.
Yeah. So we've got a great show today. We've got stories, we've got your toasters. Tell me about the stories. Like
Good. A lot of things
good, question mark.
that have been like in discussion in some way or another in the last few weeks. So it'll be, I think all of them kind of like touch on things that we've been talking about. So you'll see.
You'll see.
That's what I'll say. You'll see.
It also sort of remains to be seen.
Yeah. And it's also stories are what you make them. So let's make them rock.
Make them rock.
Slay. The no crumbs.
Well, that's the thing when you look back on the Hannah Montana, and we didn't even talk about it when we were talking about Hannah Montana at a glance. What's so sad is that so many of those songs, and they were probably the best songs ever made, the Hannah Montana entirety from the first song they released to the last, were really are very Billy Ray Cyrus coded. He wrote a lot of them. He produced a lot of
them.
Yeah. And that's
I feel
tough.
like he wrote the ones that we know that he wrote because on the show, like he made us know. So I don't feel like it's more than we think. Like I think Butterfly Fly Away.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
Yeah. I could also like see himself.
You're right, by the way. He didn't write.
I think any song that he wrote, like he inserted himself into it on the show. So we know that. It's not like Nobody's Perfect was written by
Butterfly
him.
Fly Away. Love That Let's Go. That's like a real deep cut from Hannah Montana forever.
Yeah. He like always wrote the emo ones.
Yeah, and like kind of the not good ones.
Even the Butterfly Fly Away is gargy pargy. I can set it aside if it means having to do away with that devil skank.
Right, that everybody knows that devil's a skank.
So like, goodbye, Butterfly Fly Away.
No, that one's kind of hard to let go.
Butterfly Fly Away.
Butterfly Fly Away. Yeah, by the way, he really did not write a lot of them. The one that keeps coming up is A Love That Lets Go. And that one's like not even good.
It's okay. Like I can live without it though, if it means standing by Miley's side.
The way I feel about like Hannah Montana music, similar to like the soundtrack of High School Musical, is how I feel about like McDonald's, The fact that people like, win James Beard awards for like some of the most disgusting fucking food you've ever seen in your life. And like McDonald's is out here serving up quality meals every single time. Like I think that they deserve a Michelin star. And that's why, but it's looked down upon, right?
Yeah.
McDonald's is like, ew, gross. I want to go eat at a Michelin star restaurant. And like when you travel abroad and like you don't eat the food, you just like eat McDonald's, you're like a tacky American. Okay, please. That's how I feel about like the music from High School Musical and Hannah Montana. Like to me, that's the best music ever made. Like similar to like One Direction when they were at their peak, like that is the best music ever fucking made. And the fact that like people get Grammys or like they look down on like, like I'm listening to an orchestra. Like to me, the soundtrack from High School Musical.
Beck won Album of the Year. Where was Hannah Montana's Grammy?
Where was It's Gonna Be a Night to Remember? Like that's where I feel I don't relate to my culture and my generation at all.
I feel like a lot of our generation gets that. I feel like the people listening to the show get that. And that's why we've created such a safe space for ourselves here.
Yeah.
But certainly, the media elites don't.
Yeah, and I'm kind of sick of the media elites.
I'm sick of them.
We need to become them. I think we are.
In our own
sort of like twisted
corner.
way.
In our own little corner on our own little couch, we can be whatever we want to be.
Cinderella like ate with that one. She was 100% right. It's giving delusional schizophrenic in the corner. Like you can be whatever you want, but like you're still just like the girl cleaning the floors.
Speaking of Cinderella, did you see the trailer for New Snow White?
I did.
They're giving it their all.
I did, and I saw that, it was like a big Disney weekend. They had like D23, like they're like.
Yeah, which Miley spoke at.
Right, it's like a big convention. It's kind of like how when Tim Cook goes and like announces all the new Apple things, like all the Apple freaks show up, all the Disney freaks show up.
It's giving like new fronts.
Yeah, and they announced like
fronts.
all their upcoming slate of content. And yes, we got the Cinderella trailer, and really cool to know that, to not offend any of, any people from the little people community, instead of, giving them jobs in acting, they just created CGI little people, which is more offensive to me.
Yeah.
I thought they were doing away with dwarfs.
I think they were at one point, and then it was like the erasure of dwarves.
Of
like
a
that's
culture.
not okay either. Like these are real people, but then they made them fake people.
Yeah, no.
They really didn't know how to navigate that, I will say.
What's his name? Peter
Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, girl boss a little too close to the sun, because he made a big stink about it. So look what he did. He put all the fellow dwarf actors out of work because they still are, using your culture. They're using your people for content, but they're not employing any of you. They're all CGI.
Yeah, I don't think that was the right move either. I think he was trying to say, like, the movie made a lot of changes to be more quote unquote woke.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, you're making this like woke fest, but you're still having these like caricatures of dwarves. I think maybe if the dwarves, if once we met them, if they weren't like snoozy, lazy, dopey,
maybe if they had like a little bit more, like they were dynamic and had maybe we get to know why he's so sleepy.
And they were like,
what's going on at home?
Developed people. That would be better. Maybe they are, but the fact that it's CGI just takes away from the fact that there were 7 actors who didn't get the job when it's already hard enough, I'm sure,
right,
as a little actor.
1,000%. Yeah, so I did see the trailer.
Yeah, I know. I really don't want to go down this path.
Me neither. Let's just move on.
But like seriously, Gal Gadot is my queen. I'm so happy to see her in the movie, and she's amazing in everything she does.
Agreed.
And I can't say the same about that other girl.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
So I'm ready to dive in.
The mood.
No, me neither. Like, it's
not
a Wednesday.
in the mood.
Things are hard. Is it not hard enough?
It's hard enough being a Wednesday. So now, also, Turdy and I went out last night.
Oh my God, we did. We looked gorgeous.
We went to like a little party.
Yes, it was
an event.
Dinner hosted by Rachel Zoe in collaboration with Love Shack Fancy.
Look at us.
And Jackie and I are having like a Love Shack Fancy summer. We keep wearing Love Shack Fancy. And so they've kind of seen us as the very like, inspirational.
Big spenders that we are.
And they invited us, and we just like seriously showed up, ate everything, and left. Like we literally showed up for the food and for the free dresses. We looked amazing. It was so fabulous.
It was Gargy Pargy.
I got so many bug bites, which like I'm really regretting today, but I looked amazing. So it's really all that matters.
Yeah, we had a nice time, and it was like so like fashion swirlies of us.
It's really crazy because I don't go to like events like that a lot, but when I do at home, like I'm just like a fabulous girl in the back of an Uber, like FaceTiming, making content. We drove because we're in the suburbs, obviously, and it's something so crazy about like driving to an event. I can't explain it. Like
but it
I
was
had
nice.
Yeah. Oh, we saw Joe Jonas. He wasn't at the event. He was just at the facility that the event was being held at, having drinks.
Yes, on our way out, he was on the porch.
Yeah.
Porchin. Yeah, with like his DNCE friends,
crew.
I think.
Yeah, it was like giving band.
It was giving DNCE era. You know the one.
You know the one.
I think his new album's coming out any day now, because I saw a headline that there's going to be a lot of collaborations because he wants to include other people's narratives.
Because he also like wants to do anything to eclipse his brother Nick. Like these, you can't convince me that those two don't fucking hate each other.
Yeah, I can't go down this road right now either.
No, I can't get invested in the Jonas Brothers anymore. Like seriously, they've taken so much of my time, my heart, you stupid bitch. Like
Your childhood.
I really can't.
So we're going to make a left turn again.
Yeah.
And we're going to go down the road of the Fast Five stories that you need to know.
And the Fast Five stories that you need to know are not up on my iPad because I was dilly-dallying reading the words to Perfect Day by Hoku. Now, without further ado, today's episode of The Toast is brought to you by Splenda Stevia, to be specific. You know Splenda, the little packets of yellow sweetener. They have created something brand new, and it's Splenda Stevia. So just so you know, it's made by Splenda, like the Splenda, COO is involved. It's the Splenda Co. However, it doesn't have any of the original Splenda in it. Splenda Stevia is an all-new plant-based sweetener that uses U.S.-grown stevia. So unlike other stevia brand, stevia uses U.S.-grown stevia that they grow on their own farm in Florida. Having a U.S. farm also means lower carbon emissions and greater sustainable practices. It comes in packets, pouches, liquid sweeteners. Splenda stevia is kind of like very Jackson Clud coated. I'm such a Splenda girl. Like I feel very loyal to the yellow packets. I go anywhere and they give you that thing with like the yellow, the pink, the blue. I'm always going yellow. And Jax has recently, we've always been a yellow family too. Jackie has recently made the switch to stevia. And she said, you know, she was going on and on about the benefits. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But like, I'm a yellow girl. I'm sorry. I'm a yellow, tried and true.
She's always been a yellow belly.
I have. Now with Splenda Stevia, it's kind of the blend of our two favorite things, Splenda and Stevia.
Jackson Claude.
It is, of course, a 0-calorie sweetener. It is perfect to use anywhere you use sugar. I use sugar a lot. I'm always putting, now these days, Splenda Stevia in my sugar-free yogurt, making it a little tastier. Like, I got yellow packets in my purse. Like, you know, it always just kind of fancies up a dish. Visit Splenda.com/thetoast and use our code THETOAST for a free sample of Splenda Stevia. That's SPLENDA.com/thetoast. Code is THETOAST for a free sample of Splenda Stevia. Today's episode is also brought to you by Seed. It doesn't take much to change the balance of your day-to-day life, and the same goes for a sensitive vaginal microbiome. 9 out of 10 women have an unstable vaginal microbiome, and that's why Seed created VS01 Vaginal Symbiotic to restore a healthy vaginal microbiome and to sustain regulated pH levels. So Seed is a trusted brand. I feel like we've worked with them for a really long time. A lot of you guys love their DS01 daily symbiotic, for your gut microbiome. And your vaginal microbiome needs some love too. Just like your gut has a unique microbiome, so does your vagina. VS01 marks a new era in vaginal care with a sustainable approach to address the root cause of imbalances. VS01 is an ongoing system that maximizes efficacy with minimal impact on your day-to-day life. Find your balance. The intensive first month reset helps rapidly replenish an optimal microbiome and then sustain a simple ongoing 2-tablet monthly schedule. Is designed to help maintain a stable vaginal microbiome and regulate pH. Just 2 tablets a month. If you've been wanting to start taking something for your vaginal microbiome, Seed is obviously the best place to go. I think they're a really trusted brand. They've had great success. I know a lot of you guys love the daily DS01 symbiotic, prebiotic and probiotic. So find your balance and get proactive with your vaginal care with the VS01 from Seed. Go to seed.com/toast and use our code 25toast to get 25% off. That's 25% off VS01 at seed.com/toast, code 25toast. That's seed, SEED.com. Today's episode is also brought to you, I'm so sorry, by Row Body. So if you've heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, they're kind of taking the world by storms. You've probably heard 3 things. It's effective, but they're expensive, and they're also really hard to get. But that's where Row comes in. I love Row. I'm a huge fan of these drugs. As you guys know, I had amazing success with one of them. But and people ask me questions about it all the time, you know, side effects, things like that. But really the number one question I get is like, where do I start? How do I get it? Who do I go to? And it can be really, you know, intimidating. And also once you end up getting a prescription, it's really unaffordable and inaccessible. So if you've been curious about Ozempic or Wegovy, but you can't get your hands on it, that's where Row comes in. You've probably heard about how effective they are, and maybe this is the sign that you need to like take the jump. Head to Row. Through Row, you can access prescription compounded GLP-1s with the same weight loss ingredients as the brand names that GLPs have, but at a fraction of the cost. Row has compounded GLP-1s in stock now. You can get it in 1 to 4 days if you qualify, and members of Row have support throughout the process. So if you're eligible for the medication, patients have access to their provider on demand for any questions. If you qualify from the comfort of your own home, that means no scheduling doctor's appointment, no commute to the doctor's office, no waiting room. And then I think a lot of people are really embarrassed to ask for it, and they don't know how to start that conversation with their doctor. This way, it's from home. It's not awkward. It's so easy. If you're prescribed, your medication will ship directly to you in 1 to 4 days. So go to row.co/toast. Membership start at just $99 for your first month, and medication costs are separate. That's ro.co/toast. Go to row.co for black box warning and full safety information. Compounded medication is not required to and does not receive FDA review or approval. RX only. That's row.co/toast.
Thank you, /Chart.
You're welcome, /Bert.
Our first story, we are circling back to It Ends With Us drama because
there's
more
updates.
Things are happening. A few things. First, a proud Blake Lively is addressing the domestic violence in It Ends With Us amid press tour backlash. So as we've discussed, she has been getting backlash for promoting this movie with flowers and hair and fun and girly swirliness.
Like more movie star than like, you know, platform, using her platform.
And he has promoted it as a very serious film, talking about DV at most every turn. And now she's steadily hitting back at the backlash. She said, amid claims that she has not focused on the film's serious themes, she reshared a clip Tuesday on her Instagram story from an interview with BBC News. In the interview, she said, quote, Lily Bloom is not just a survivor and she's not just a victim. Lily Bloom is her character. And while those are huge things to be, they are not her identity.
Well, she's getting dragged for that too. So what she had said in the interview was like, you know, I don't want to minimize what, being a victim is. But it's important to remember, like, people who are victims of a domestic abuse that's not your whole life. Like, you're more than that. You're a mother, you're a sister, a friend. And people really didn't like that she said that, like that, somehow it was like speaking down to victims. And I actually liked what she said. Like, yes, it's important to identify yourself as a survivor and a victim, but that's not all you are. And that's not all you're ever going to be. You're going to accomplish things. You're going to live a happy life. Like, I actually thought it was a great message. And I think now we're getting to a point where, like, people have decided their sides, right?
Yeah. And now no matter what she says or does, people will find fault with it. And same for him. I had not, like I said the other day, I had not really seen people like taking Justin Baldoni's side. I felt like that was the unpopular side. But then I read the comments. I was like, oh, okay. And now I see what Turdy is talking about. Doesn't change how I feel. I don't know why Blake Lively has to be the first person to, one, like, spoil her movie in every interview that she gives, and two, like, only mostly talk about the serious nature of the movie when the movie is so many other things too. And it's a press tour. This is movie making. It's Hollywood. These are red carpets. Like, what do you want?
They're like, she's not shining a light on domestic violence enough. She literally starred in a movie about it. Like, isn't that not shining a light on it? And I don't know, I think we're putting a lot of undue and, like, unwarranted pressure and scrutiny on Blake. And I am Team Blake. I've firmly come to that conclusion. And I feel like people are just hating on her. And I think she's really directly responding to the line is like, Blake's not serious, right? Blake is being, shallow about this, using this as an opportunity to promote herself and to promote her brands. And Justin would never do that.
That's what a press tour is.
And she's now seems to be directly responding to that. Last night she put up an Instagram story with, like, links and, trigger warnings. And a lot of people are mad that the movie doesn't have a trigger warning. I don't like trigger warnings. I don't think, like, they should be a thing, but that's just my personal opinion.
The book doesn't have a trigger warning, does it? And it's a spoiler.
I don't know. Maybe new versions of the book do, because, like, it got so popular. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is a spoiler. I'm not sure. Then another clip of Blake is going viral where she's in an interview remotely with a journalist, and she's on a couch with Brendan Sklenar. Mm-hmm. And he's asked a question like, this movie obviously talks about an issue that affects a lot of women. And you're doing a press tour, you're meeting a lot of fans of the book, fans of the movie, fans of you. And if somebody is wanting to talk to you about their experience with domestic violence, with this issue, what's the best way to do that? And she's getting torn apart for her answer, where she's basically like, oh, what do you want? My address? You want my social security number? And then Brendan Sklenar is, like, kind of rolling his eyes at her, being like, this fucking bitch. And it's really going viral because he's so clearly, like, done with her. And her answer is, people are saying, very J-Lo coded. People are saying she's in her J-Lo era, where she's, like, really not self-aware and, like, interacting with fans in a really weird way. And I agree, the clip is very weird and her answer is, like, kind of rude. But I don't think there's enough people talking about what a bad fucking question that is.
What a bad question on so many levels. I also think she misunderstood the question, because I think the guy was saying, like, if someone comes up to you, they see you and they want to talk about this. If someone's going through that, like, they should get help.
Wait,
Blake Lively is
actress.
Not now the authority on DV. She played a character in a movie that doesn't, like,
that's not based on a true story.
Yeah, like, if you're going to Blake Lively for help, like, you do need help, and I mean that in an earnest way. Like,
not from Blake.
That's not on Blake Lively. What kind of question is that? There's no right way to answer that question. I agree. I thought her response was, like, sarcastic and
rude,
a little rude, but I also feel like there's not enough onus put on the person who asked that question.
No, we're gonna now analyze this clip, and everybody's analyzing Blake, and no, she's totally being like a B word. What the fuck kind of question is that? Like, that's a bad question. And I don't think people should just be going up and trauma dumping on one person.
No.
She's just an actress, you guys. She's not a fucking activist. She's not, like, a scholar. She's an actress in a movie, and we're mad that she's wearing pretty dresses. Like, where is that? And people are like, but look at Justin Baldoni. And I'm telling you, I do not think Justin Baldoni, and by the way, Justin Baldoni has now hired Crisis PR.
Yeah, I was going to get to that
like
too.
Something's coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, you don't hire Crisis PR, because I'm so involved in this, right? And I'm taking the temperature, and the temperature is positive for Justin Baldoni. If anyone would be hiring Crisis PR, it's Blake, because she's the one who's seemingly responding, putting up Instagram links like, oh, you're not taking this seriously? Okay, here are my links. Like,
yeah. She's on the back foot right now.
She's on the defense, right?
Yeah.
And Justin Baldoni is kind of like basking in. There's been, like, weeks long video proof of him being serious about DV, right? He's winning if there is a competition. So him hiring Crisis PR makes me think, like, there's something about to come out about him. I don't know why anyone would hire. You only hire Crisis PR when things are really bad. It's not bad.
Things are great for him either, because the whole cast is against him. It's not just Blake. So, like, that automatically, like, is a red flag.
Yeah.
But also, I think that the interviewer who asked that question, like, with some, like, I don't think that many people are going to be going up to Blake, like, looking to if they're going through something serious, they're not like running up to their local movie star, like looking for advice.
They shouldn't. One, because like that's too much for one person to take on. Like if every person who sees this movie and feels compelled by it, which I'm sure is a lot of people who can draw on their own experiences, and they want to dump that on, that's a lot for one person to take. Like you shouldn't do that. Like that's not her job. She's not a therapist.
But I also don't think someone who's going through it like would do that.
Right.
And for him to assume that they would, like you think so little of women.
It's so true. It was such a bad question. It was actually an offensive question.
It's an offensive question.
And so she answered offensively too.
It's an offensive question to Blake and to the hypothetical woman that would do that.
So true. So true.
Yeah.
And you know what? Maybe Brendan Sklenar was rolling his eyes at the dumb fucking questions they're forced to answer.
I think he was. I didn't get to the part where he's rolling his eyes, but I imagine he was rolling them based. The exchange got really dumb, when like he didn't know, when the interviewer then didn't know how to respond to like Blake's sarcasticness.
No, he rolled his eyes like as Blake was talking about her social security number and her address. Like it's very like it seems like he's rolling his eyes at Blake.
Perhaps, yeah. No, not the greatest look for her amid this torrent of backlash, but
by the way, I think people are now looking
of this storm. We would have never seen what was
this
an
irrelevant interview.
Like she's doing a million interviews.
People are now looking for,
but they're also doing it with Justin too.
Yeah,
how did this? But he's not interviewed as so off the rails.
He's not being interviewed as much as she is. Like, yes, he's a star, and yes, he's the director. But like Blake Lively is Blake Lively. Like there's way more footage of her.
Well, that's probably just a choice on his part then, because any show. Period. Would want to have him on. He's in the big romance movie of the summer. He's the star and director. Like, no one's turning him down.
There's not as many clips. There's like a couple of clips going around of Justin Baldoni Today Show on the red carpet being asked like if he would direct the second movie. There's like 3 or 4 ones going viral. Like there's 1,000 of Blake. And she's, I think, stopping to talk to everyone on the red carpet. Like I think she's really proud of this movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. They can never make me hate her. And I wasn't even like a diehard fan. I didn't come into this biased.
No, not at all. But
I'm just not buying it when everybody's, that's just so us too. Like when everybody's like choosing one side, we're like, well, what about the other side?
Yeah, but this situation, it's a little bit of both because the whole cast is against Justin.
Yeah.
And we're with the cast. But the public is with Justin. So we're with Blake.
I want to hear from Jenny Slate. I feel like she knows. Like I definitely think the younger actors might not know 100% like of what went on because they're new to the industry. They're young. They probably got kept out of a lot of the stuff. But I feel like Jenny Slate, like she's, you know, a successful woman in the industry. She's like old enough to be involved. And I just feel like she's an interesting take.
Yeah. I don't think we're ever going to really know what happened. But now, like, what's happening is the story. Like, whatever happened on set was like a small thing, and it was enough to be like, listen, I don't really like this person. Yeah. Now I know. Great. Not a big deal. But the fact that, like, everyone figured it out, they're dissecting every interview and clip. Like, now this is the drama.
Yeah.
And this is probably, like, worse than whatever happened.
Well, I guess it's good for the sequel because in the sequel, like, Lily hates Ryle, so they really won't have to act.
Yeah. Yeah. I think overall it's good for the movie. Everyone's talking about this movie.
So true. Like,
I want to see it so badly.
We
will see it.
Yeah.
So I think it's good. Plus Deadpool.
Yep.
At the same time.
Rising tides. It's just crazy because Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have sort of been this like protected class of celebrity for so many years. Like just universally loved and adored. They put out like one Instagram and it's like 11 different news stories. And I've always been like, what is the hype with these people? And now I'm like starting to like them and everybody hates them. That's so me.
Yeah, but I like her now. I just never really stopped to like think about her. And now when I do, it was more so that interview. I don't know if it was
Vogue or
the Vogue one. She's on the cover of September issue and it talked about like what a hardworking working mom she is. And I never like stopped to realize like she has 4 kids. She did that all like in the prime of her career. She's like back to work immediately. She puts motherhood first. Like I think she's an amazing role model. So whatever happened on set, like I don't really care. Like I just think this is a good woman.
I agree.
And I don't like love Ryan Reynolds the way my husband does.
Right.
Last night we got home from our big fancy party. What's our husbands doing? My husband is making Ben watch Deadpool.
Indoctrination. We walked in on indoctrination.
Because they saw Deadpool 2 together in the movies. Ben really liked it, but he had never seen Deadpool 1. My husband, who was the ambassador for Deadpool 1, then the wives are out. Oh, I'm going to make you watch Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
There's some, like, does everyone's husbands love Deadpool this much?
I think so.
My husband, like now that I've noticed it, Claudia, it's every 3 days he's watching Deadpool.
That's funny.
It's the crazy. I had no idea he was such a fan.
He's in his Deadpool era.
No, it's been going on forever.
Yeah.
I need to throw him a Deadpool themed birthday party.
You do.
Like he's obsessed.
Oh my
with
God,
Deadpool.
we'll all wear like the Deadpool costume. They're like that. Like what Blake Lively wore to that screening, that ugly red outfit. We'll wear it. I love that.
Yeah. So that's the latest on It Ends With Us. It's getting like really nasty and polarizing.
It is.
When it all started kind of as like a funny,
No, we were like, is anybody
drama.
else noticing? That's like what it was. And now we're getting hate comments.
And also people have ruined it by like making it seem like anybody who's not with Justin is like not supporting like survivors of domestic violence. Like that's not what this is. Seriously.
No, it's true. And
lighten up. Like it's a movie.
No, and at the end of the day, like I feel good in my stance. Like this is a story for women, by women. This is a book that was like literally read by every woman in America. This is a book that touched even someone who has no experience with TV, like who just loved this book. Like this was a celebration, seriously, of women. Colleen Hoover doing the most for women in literature. Like I'm going to side with the women. I'm siding with Colleen. I'm siding with Blake because I actually support women. How about that?
No, and I think
everybody's all women supporting women until there's a woman to support. Like, hello.
Right. And I think that Blake, like TV is a big theme of the movie, but like she said, it's not the only thing about Lily. And also making the press tour like a girly, swirly, twirly affair, like does go to show like women like can do more and do all of these things. And we shouldn't like sacrifice our girlhood because someone else ruined it.
So factual what you just fucking said.
Thank you.
Thesis of the saga, okay?
Thesis of
but we should have a sad, depressing fucking movie press tour because some man couldn't control himself.
Right.
No, let's succumb to it. Let's succumb to the darkness and never do anything and never identify as anything other than a survivor and a victim. Mm-hmm. And that's what Blake Lively was saying. And I'm surprised that people took such umbrage with it. Nobody wants to be defined by the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Like some people do want to like stay in their victimhood.
But that's not healing.
No. But like to be a survivor means to like come out of it and do other things. And it's always going to be a part of you, but it's not the whole of you.
It's not the whole of you.
So this story ends with that for now today.
For now.
If anything else happens, we shall let you know. Speaking of Blake Lively, her best friend Tailored threw a wrap party for the Eras Tour crew in London after canceling her Vienna shows over the foiled terror plot. So Tailored Swift was seen out and about for the first time since her Vienna concerts were canceled. She tried to lift the spirits of Eras Tour staff members by throwing a wrap party in London on Monday night. She was spotted leaving the swanky members-only club, Annabelle's, in an outfit from Vivienne Westwood's new Autumn-Winter 2024-25 collection, per pictures obtained by Dumois.
Yeah, there was a lot of like hate for this outfit. I loved it.
I think she looks really cute.
I'm like, it's quirky, it's different, it's so LA. I mean, it's so London. Like, I loved it.
It's just making me like a little sad because it's very fall, and we were talking about this yesterday. Like everyone has declared summer over.
Yeah, at the event, Rachel Zoe was like, I'm so sad summer's over. I'm like, it's literally not.
It's August 14th. Like we're halfway through the second month of summer, and like the actual season doesn't end till September 21st. Like, why is everyone saying summer's over?
No, swirly summer's just getting started.
Like we're still in swirly summer. So like this outfit, I love it, but it's like I would love it more in October when I'm rooted in my fall era. But now she's like ushering me along, and I'm like, I just got my tennis dress collection all set.
By the way, I am just now like realizing, because I haven't thought about Taylor in a couple of days, that she didn't respond to the Vienna cancellations. I'm sure people in the community are like finding umbrage with that. I'm letting her react to this in whatever way she wanted. And I feel like there was a time in her career where she was so worried about what people would think and so, focused on like doing what she thought was perfect and right. And she would have crafted a statement. And I feel like this is such a hard thing for a human being to have dealt with. And like, if she's choosing not to respond to like protect her own whatever, like I'm all for that. But I do feel like there was a time where not responding would never have been, not even like, posting on Instagram for a canceled show would have never, been an option for her. But now she's just at this point in her career where she doesn't give a fuck and she's putting herself first.
Yeah. And I don't think it's like, I don't care so much, but I think at a certain point, what can she even say to like sum up the magnitude and the impact? And I'm sure she's dealing with a lot. I see in some of these comments. And then
she gets like a ISIS target on her back. Who the fuck wants that?
I see in some of these comments, people are now mad that she's like partying. What about Vienna?
No.
But like still, the people who worked on her show, the lighting, the casting crew, craft services.
Deserve to be celebrated.
Deserve their shine. I'm sure they had this party planned for a long time. And what, we're going to cancel the party because of the terrorists? They are going to win again. They already canceled the concerts. You don't cancel the party too. You don't. You have to party. The party must go on.
I have something to say, and I know the people who had tickets in Vienna like are really not about my take on this. And I alluded to it last time, and people like were sending me hate mail. And like I feel it even stronger today. Like the crying, and yes, I say this as somebody who's been to 3 Eras tours. So like, yes, I'm coming from a place of privilege. The crying over not being able to see Taylor and like really not even caring so much about the potential danger you could have been in and like the thousands of people who could have died. Like people's priorities are so fucked up, and like we can hold space for two things. No, actually right now we're not. Like I'm going to focus on the fact that like, thank God thousands of young girls were not mowed down by terrorists. Like to me, that's all I care about. Your tickets, like they mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I think like the fact that like, well, we can be sad about our tickets while also being sad about terrorism.
No, they're not
tickets
equal.
don't equal terrorism today.
They're not equal things. You have to hold space for two things
Of
that
equal
are of
value.
equal weight.
No, they are not. Like people seriously,
When one thing is so heavy, you can't hold, you need both hands.
people have, yeah.
Saying.
Yeah. People's reactions to this have been so disappointing to me. Like, and me getting hate for being like, get over your tickets. Get over your tickets. Like, I think Nikki Glaser was like on her way to Vienna. She's like Taylor's #1 fan. And she has said like she's spending all of her money like till her last dying day on Taylor's tickets. And she was like on the layover when the show got canceled. And she ended up like still going to Vienna and like hanging out with like Swifties and just like eating food and like enjoying, you know, this fabulous place. And I thought she had like a good, healthy reaction to it. But then, you know, but she's been to a show. Like, you will see Taylor. Like, it's the best thing on the planet. Yeah. And people are like, it's more than just a concert. It's a sister. No, it's just a concert. Like, and it's amazing. And it's amazing. It's a concert and it's not worth your life, girl. Like, it's not worth your fucking life.
No, it's not. It's not worth your life. And it's not worth someone else's either.
No, people's reaction being
because I guess
like,
the people who had tickets weren't at risk really because they would have been in the stadium and it was
right. No, they were at risk too. Everyone was at risk.
No, but the direct risk and the plan was to target people who didn't have tickets.
But when they heard their show was canceled because of a terror plot, their first reaction being like, oh my God, my ticket, instead of, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Is really like, how have we gotten here as a culture? Like, we need to work on it. We need to work on ourselves.
Yeah. The Swifties have swifted too hard.
Too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Are you ready for our next story, our third story, which is some Simone Biles news because Simone Biles' birth mom is begging Simone for forgiveness. She did a huge interview with the Daily Mail.
Oh, I have an ick. Oh, this is giving Thomas Markle. Like, did the Daily Mail reaching out to somebody's like estranged parent? Oh no, I have ick.
Well, so Simone's birth mother, Shannon Biles, wants to reconnect and reconcile with the Olympic gymnast. In a lengthy interview with the Daily Mail on Tuesday, she explained how her drug and alcohol abuse cost her children. She recalled losing 2 of her 3 daughters, first to foster care and then to adoption by her dad and his wife. And they brought Simone to live with them in Houston when Simone was 6. So she talks about her struggle with addiction, which led to significant financial and legal problems, saying, quote, "It took me 6 years before I saw my children again. I was respecting my dad to let the kids transition. He felt that was the best thing for them." So she describes like the years in which she wasn't with Simone while Simone was growing up and how her dad wouldn't let her see the kids while she was like in and out of recovery and still struggling. But she says now that she has been clean since 2022, she's managed to stay out of trouble and now works as a cashier. She says that though she has Simone's direct number, she will not use it. She's hoping that Simone reaches out to her. She's 27 now. She's married. I would have liked to be a part of that.
But I just have to wait. The mom was 27. I was like, wait, how?
No. Simone's like she said, Simone is 27. She's married. You can't push anybody. It hasn't happened yet, but I have patience. I'm waiting on her.
Nothing she's saying is bad or raising red flags, but the fact that she's like, I have her number and I won't use it, but I'm going to go to the Daily Mail.
Yeah.
That gives me pause and it's a red flag. And I feel, you know, she was on Hoda right after when the Today Show was in Paris, right after she won like her final medal, and Hoda was like, fill in the blanks. Like, I wouldn't be here today without blank. Like, what is really brought you here? And she's like, I wouldn't be here today without adoption. Like, she's so grateful for the life that she had. I think she knows how lucky she is to have gone through foster care and come out on the other side with her sister. And she talked about it in her documentary, and it's like this crazy thing I feel like a lot of people don't know about her. I didn't know before I watched a documentary, and like it gave me chills to see somebody who had such a, you know, a rough start in life end up becoming like the greatest who ever lived. And there has to be more to the story, because if, you know, her mom was this like perfect person living, you know, nearby and just working, and Simone would have, you know.
No, that's not what it was.
Of course.
That's not even the story up until 2 years ago when now she's
clean,
set her life on a better path.
Right. So I can't even imagine like what that's like, and I'm not gonna, you know, pretend to know.
Yeah. I mean, it's very complicated. I'm sure very difficult for Simone. I can't imagine how that feels, but I do think it's, you know, she won't text her these things, but to go to the Daily Mail, it's just like, why?
You know, it's horrible. And Simone like made a choice like early on that she's still like, she calls technically her grandfather dad, and her grandfather's wife, who wasn't the mother of Simone's mom. So it's just like by marriage. So she would have been like her step grandma biologically. she calls them mom and dad. Like she has made this choice. And I think a lot of that has to do with the dad's decision to not let the mom see the kids for the first 6 years. And that was, while probably a really hard choice, 100% the right thing to do. Like give them a stable life after having been through this traumatic year. So this is just tough. Like there's no right answer. And Simone, whatever choice like she made, and it sounds like she's made a choice. Like that's her choice and it's the right choice.
Yeah, 100%. Are you ready for our next story?
I thought you were going to say the Simone Biles story that everyone was talking about. She bought an Hermes bag in Paris.
She did?
She like made a cup.
Show me.
She made,
Show
well,
me
she didn't show us
Rachel.
the bag. She just showed us like Instagram after she won her medals, like at Hermes, and then an orange box. What that? I need to know what was in the bag.
How big was the box?
Big. It looked like
Are
a big.
you sure it's a purse?
Yes, I think she wrote something bag. She definitely, actually, did she? I just assumed, but she got a
Could
bag.
have gotten like a belt or a pair of loafers.
Neither of the box was bigger than that.
Oh, wow.
And and then she made a TikTok like having drinks afterwards. Like she obviously like got drunk
She
with
had like a
her
girly
sister.
swirly, like 7 rings day.
Her and her sister look exactly alike, and they like had champagne and bought bags.
I saw that, but I didn't see that they bought bags at Hermes. Like, I hope that the Hermes salespeople like opened up the fucking vault and weren't stingy
Give her
about the
whatever
bargains.
she want.
Though I have heard it's easier to get them in Paris.
Internationally.
And I hope she got like the most sickening bag.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
I
Treat
know.
yourself.
Like a gold bag.
Totally. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Are you ready for our next story?
Yeah.
A little summer in the sun news because
It's Swirly Summers finally made the news.
it's swirly summer for Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, and the revolving door of their yacht has now welcomed Leonardo DiCaprio, Vittoria, Ceretti, Katy Perry, and Orlando Bloom.
Is Victoria Tretti the young thing he's working with?
The current young thing. So
at the same time, or
yes, you know, I feel like they like host every week, like new people come.
okay, let me say,
go.
rich people love to do this thing where they invite influential, cool, successful people that they know from different walks of life, and they have like salons where they're like, let's have interesting conversations. Like I've been weirdly invited to like a couple of them as like the young influencer, and like it's literally so fun. Can't get invited to them enough. And like I could see Jeff Bezos being like, you know, inviting, you know, people from politics, people from Hollywood, people from tech, and being like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I think Lauren is probably friends with Katy. Also, I saw that, you know, she pilots helicopters. She like has her pilot's license.
Who?
Lauren Sanchez.
So she picked up Katy.
No, she like took Orlando and Katy like on her helicopter. I think they like jumped out of the helicopter.
Okay, so like that is how like very rich people die, because it happens all the time. I think it happened with one of the Kennedys. Like they think they can do anything because they're so rich, and they like learn to fly, and before they're ready, they just like take off and kill everyone in the plane. Like that's like a rich person trope I'm personally not a fan of.
Okay, that's fair. I thought it was cool. Like
and every
female
time,
pilot,
by the way, no.
Amelia Earhart up
and
there.
by the way, let's not talk about Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Nicole Sanchez.
Because Amelia Earhart, like while she was like amazing for women, she's like kind of famous for failing, and she literally crashed. So thank you for proving my point. I feel like this happens all the time. You hear about like in South Carolina, like, you know, small 2-person plane crashes. Like thank God everyone survives. You always see videos like plane crashes on the beach, and it's like a plane owned by like a rich person who wanted to learn how to fly, and it's like one of those planes with like a propeller, and they're like learning to fly on it, and they like go and kill people. Like seriously, stop. Why don't you leave the flying up to the pilots?
I know. I don't get why that is like, okay, I've made all this money, I've accomplished these things in life, like now I need to fly a plane.
There is a certain
it's very Prince Philip.
Jack, yes. But he was at least like in the
army,
so you learn how to really fly. But there is like a monetary value. I'm not sure what it is, but like once your bank account hits it, like the bank pulls you aside and they sign you up for pilot lessons. Like I don't know what it is, and it's really mostly men. But love to see Lauren like becoming a rich man. It's so weird. I don't like it.
Yeah, I don't like it either. But I actually think that her.
Can you start a list?
I think that her pilot interest like predates her relationship with Jeff, and
her billionaire
and actually
status
might have helped them connect, because you know he's really into flight
aviation
as well. What's this list called? Celebrities who fly?
No, rich people tropes that Turdy dislikes.
I'll just do rich people tropes, and that it could include both. I'll do likes and dislikes.
Okay, so I only have like dislikes. Shockingly, dislikes obviously.
No, you like the salon.
Oh, okay.
You just said.
Okay, so dislikes.
Interesting people salon.
That's likes. Dislikes is like randomly becoming pilots for no reason. And 2, like when they cosplay being poor.
So like, I don't want to say like not ballerina farm, but like when they get a
not
trailer.
Like that. No, not
Who
like
was
that.
living in a trailer recently?
Or like, I like shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. Like that whole shtick, like Taylor Swift, you could buy probably the nicest ring anybody could buy.
We did a story. Someone like moved to a trailer.
Oh, no. It was an RV. Taylor and Travis like vacationed in like Bon Jovi or Lenny Kravitz's.
Yeah, Lenny Kravitz's.
He has this like famous RV that he like takes to the Bahamas. I don't fucking know. And it's like, well, you're Lenny Kravitz. Why don't you buy a mansion instead?
Yeah.
Instead of an RV, a mobile home.
Yeah.
Yeah, cosplay. Rich people who cosplay as poor.
Tori Spelling was in an RV recently, right?
Yeah, but we weren't sure if her cosplaying poor or just being poor.
I know, but then we were listening to that playlist of songs from the 90s, and I wish that I was like Tori Spelling.
Yeah,
with
we
a car
forget.
like hers and a dad like hers. You forget. Like, she was literally in a song.
She was that bitch. And then she was also on that show that like shifted a culture, 90210, and she was like the coolest one. I came to the Tori Spelling consciousness when she was like a failed reality star who was fighting with her husband
And now
for
like
money.
a podcaster.
Right.
But
I didn't know.
Aaron Spelling money like must still be around.
No, but it's very, so it was very contentious because of Candy Spelling. And I think they like cut her out.
Cut out Tori.
I think that's what's so like, so I don't think she's cosplaying poor. I think she actually just might be poor.
Why did they cut her out?
I remember when we were growing up, it was on the cover of every tabloid magazine. It was like Jen and Ben, Aniston and Pitt, and then Tori Spelling and the money. Candy. Imagine being named Candy.
No, and in 2023, an insider claimed Candy Spelling found a house for Tori and her grandchildren, but Tori refused to move in. Following backlash for allegedly ignoring her daughter's financial problems and unstable home situation, a source claimed that she actually did try to help.
Right.
Candy spent hours on the phone trying to find a house. However, Tori declined to move in because she wanted to live in a certain place.
Well, I think all the money went to Candy, and Candy and Tori do not have a good relationship. It's like, that's a documentary I could really use.
Yeah, especially
And
after just
Aaron
hearing
Spelling-
that song. Because I wasn't interested until I was like, wait, this girl was in like the biggest song.
What did Aaron Spelling create? Like, what's
90210.
That's what, like, and he was.
And all
he
of
was
our
like a
favorite
show-
like every show that we watched growing up, it said created by Aaron Spelling.
And he was like the biggest showrunner.
Seventh Heaven.
He was the biggest showrunner
Love Boat.
at a time where like TV, when you had a show that took off, like syndication, Seinfeld money, like it was hundreds of millions. Now, if you have a successful show, it's like
Charlie's Angels.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
No, he's major. Look
then
up his net worth.
He's deceased.
No, but like, what was his
at
estate
the time,
worth?
at death. Someone already looked it up. $500 million.
Right.
And then someone bought his house recently. Who bought it? What happened to his mansion?
Yeah, and I feel like they had a reality show
Yeah.
that the house was on.
Oh, it was listed, but I'm not seeing who bought it.
Damn. What was the story?
Rich people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so let's get back to the story. So this week he brought out Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom and Leo and his new lady love. They went out for lunch like on shore, came back to the boat, and we're having a good old time.
It sounds so fun. Like, I'm dying to go. Please invite me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not desperate,
And
but
they've
like
been
I am.
out there like all
Summer.
They're
having a swirly summer.
They are having a swirly
They've
summer.
probably extended. They were having such a good time. Like, let's extend.
Yeah. And
I love that. Where's the boat currently?
In Sardinia, Italy.
Please invite me.
Yeah. Well, good times.
GT.
Are you ready for our fifth and final story?
I am.
Bowen Yang says the worst host on SNL made multiple cast members cry. So Bowen Yang, who's on SNL, did a game of Truth or Kink on Watch What Happens Live on Monday, and Andy Cohen asked him to share the worst behavior he has ever witnessed without disclosing the host's name. Yeah, spoiler alert, we don't know who it is. But he said this host, made multiple cast members cry on Wednesday during the table read because he hated the ideas.
So
terrible.
He didn't tell us who it is, but he did give us a little bit of a clue. Because why everybody got so upset was because he didn't like their ideas. And that means this is someone like in comedy that people really respect. Like because I'm thinking, I feel like Bowen Yang has spoken that he didn't like love working with Elon Musk. If Elon Musk said, I don't like this comedy idea, he'd be like, okay, go build a spaceship. Like,
yeah,
it's not offensive. I feel like it's like a Dave Chappelle, like someone who you want their approval of when it comes to comedy.
Yeah, I kind of want to go look at all the old hosts, like from the last like 2 years to see. I feel like if we look at names, like we could maybe sense.
Yeah. And who's like, like a Chris Rock or an Adam Sandler, like kind of SNL famed people.
I feel like recently there was like a couple people who were like very serious and you could feel like they didn't like it.
I also don't watch that much. So like, I'm not able to really get a read.
List of Saturday Night Live guests, but like I don't need from the
Start
70s.
from the beginning,
like,
right? There's like 45 seasons.
Yeah.
Well, what's the most recent season?
like 41 or 40. Didn't they just have their SNL 40 party?
There are 49 seasons. Yeah, SNL 49.
I guess I'm going to the master list. Okay, Kristen Wiig.
By the way, here, I have it.
Okay.
Pete Davidson, definitely not.
No.
Bad Bunny, definitely not. Nate Bargatze.
No.
Timothée Chalamet.
No.
Jason Momoa.
No.
Emma Stone.
No.
Adam Driver.
No. No.
Kate McKinnon.
No.
Jacob Elordi.
And he said him, right?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, this man.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so Dakota
no
Johnson.
To Jacob Elordi.
Ayo, no. Shane Gillis?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think he came back for his redemption and made everyone cry.
Sydney Sweeney, no. Josh Brolin, no. Rami Youssef, no. Kristen Wiig, no. Ryan Gosling?
No.
No. Dula Peep, no. Maya Rudolph, no. Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
But I can't see him being mean, but I can't see people caring.
Him. Yeah.
That was it.
I think he would just want to get along. That was this season. What about the prior season?
Oh, did they say last 2 years?
They didn't say, but Bowen's been he didn't say this season.
Right. Okay. SNL 48
of
hosts.
all time. Could
Miles Teller, no. Brendan Gleeson.
Or Kanye.
Meg Thee Stallion. Yeah, maybe. Jack Harlow. If he doesn't tell us what year, it's really not
I think
helpful.
It was someone either Kanye or someone a serious actor that is
scary.
The problem is it's well, the stuff is not funny. So then what do you do?
Right. No, but what's worse than having an idea that you think is funny and good and seriously in front of a room full of your peers?
I could never
seriously kill me.
You're so vulnerable when you're sharing your ideas. So for that, I guess the SNL writers are really the bravest of us.
Right.
But the thing is that no one tells them they're bad and then they do go and do them.
Now, I want to ask you a question. I had submitted a story and this is the second day in a row where you literally, I'm oh, this is it. This is it.
Because I don't really
we
pay
were sitting on the couch.
To my text.
I didn't text you.
Yeah. I see, we never really.
No, we literally decided we were choosing it.
No, we did not decide that.
No, we did. You were okay. You literally
not how
agreed.
I remember it going down.
But I guess we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay. I think if tomorrow,
I just want to make a note, second day in a row, you ignoring me.
This was a different case of that. Yesterday, I genuinely forgot. Today, I thought our outcome was different. And if it's still big news tomorrow, happy to talk about it.
Yeah, I just want to say noted.
Great.
Was she silent?
Great. Go get your notebook.
Yeah, noted. No, I don't need to. I made a record of it right now. Noted.
Go get your notebook out.
Thank you. I'll get my composition notebook. Noted. Now, today is fabulous because we're here and alive, but it's also fabulous because it's Wednesday, which means it's Dear Toasters Day. And, Dear Toasters, it's kind of a big deal. Everyone wants in on it. And
everybody wants the Swirlies advice. What do the Swirlies think about this?
Not only that,
think about that.
State Farm was listen, we know Dear Toasters is kind of beloved by everyone except for Jackie.
No,
and
they know that Jackie loves it so much.
And they want in on it. So State Farm is kind of the lead sponsor of Dear Toasters,
Which is great because I love farming.
So, and it's giving, it's giving Dear Farmer.
And I'm your local farmer.
And Jackie and I are adults, right? I think we can unfortunately agree to that.
Most days.
And it says this in the copy. State Farm must have got this wrong. And it said, as our toasters know, I just turned 30, which I don't know why they would write that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Or they would try to hurt me. Jax and I, and they're reading this. I
guess
didn't say
when
this.
they're paying, they can make you say anything.
Jax and I are loving being at this amazing stage of life.
In our 30s.
We really are, though, where we get to experience huge milestones of adulthood right along with our listeners, right along with each other. So milestones like having kids, starting businesses, making a first big adult purchase, like buying a house or a car, are major. And as we've said before, when you get a new car, a new home, it's the first thing you might find yourself saying, how, look at me, go me. But the first thing you should be saying is, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So State Farm is there with the coverage that you need for your car, for your home, even boats, motorcycles, RVs, other things. You can categorize it under things in which that matter to you. With the State Farm agent, someone is there to help you choose the coverage you need. With so many coverage options, it feels good knowing you can find what fits for you. And when you need ways to get help, State Farm gives you options there too. In person or on the phone with your local agent or on statefarm.com with their award-winning app, State Farm lets you do things your way. That's what's so great about State Farm. Whether you're a Jax or a Claude, you live the fast life, high pace, texting things, always on the go on your phone. You could chat with a State Farm agent via their mobile app. via their website, living the high life. Perhaps you're more ballerina farm jacks coded, slower.
Like a conversation with a friend.
You can talk to your agent on the phone, or you can talk to your agent IRL, which is so analog, but that's very jacks.
Yeah.
So in honor of being a good
crave
neighbor.
human connection.
Oh, let's talk more about that. Why?
Because things get lost in translation, Turdy.
They do. It's
There's
so hard.
nothing like a face-to-face.
I disagree. There's a lot of things like a face-to-face, like perhaps talking to your State Farm agent on their mobile app.
Great. And that's why State Farm works for all of us.
Right. It's extremely inclusive. So in honor of being a good neighbor, Jax and I are going to take a second to compliment each other on one thing that they're absolutely crushing in terms of adulthood, because just like a State Farm agent, we're here for each other.
Okay.
Compliment me.
Compliment me, okay?
What am I doing? In my adult life.
What are you
I'll
doing?
say this. Oh, wow. I didn't even have to think, and you do. You are, and this is a surprise to nobody, like an amazing mom, really crushing it on all fronts, firing on all cylinders constantly.
That is
congrats.
so wonderful. Thank you. You are an amazing auntie. Really.
It's true.
Just such a every day. Where's Kojer's? Kojer's
true.
sleeping? What's Kojer's doing? Can I
very
play
true.
in Kojer's room?
So true.
And just everything you could want in your little one's auntie.
So there you have it. Just another day of Jax and I being good neighbors to each other in this crazy world of adulthood. And remember, when you're hitting those larger adulthood milestones like buying a new home or car, you need help protecting the things that matter most. So remember to say, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Okay, ready for Dear Toasters? Our weekly advice segment. If you ever want to write into us, you need advice from the Swirlies, email us, deartoasters@gmail.com, or head over to our website, thetoastpodcast.com. Scroll down, there's a little submission box. Both submission ways are completely anonymous, so don't worry about that. Dear Toasters, can you help me with a major situation between me and my boyfriend? We are taking the next step and moving in together next month, and while discussing the layout of our new apartment, he suggested that we downgrade to a twin XL bed. His reasoning is that we can develop a closer connection while we sleep. He also said that he read somewhere that this helps couples grow intimately. He also brought up the nostalgia card. While we were freshmen in college, we used to share a twin XL bed. I reminded him that we were teenagers back then, and now we are fully grown adults with better sleeping arrangements.
We're big girls now.
In our separate apartments, we both have queen beds, so it's not like we don't have a bed to sleep on. I'm just so confused by this request. I'm actually baffled by it. I used to think he was joking, but he is really persistent and even sends me twin XL beds that we can buy. The final straw came yesterday when we went to the apartment to get measurements. He did point out how much more room in the bedroom there would be if we went with a twin XL bed. I'm wondering if I should even move in with him at all. He just won't drop it, and I almost have had enough. What do I do? By the way, this to me. I know we say every time, we can't think of every red flag is so crazy, because my advice always ends up being break up with your boyfriend. Seriously, your boyfriend's a crazy person. Who on earth would suggest a twin XL bed?
No, it makes no sense. Plus you have two queens. You can make it about money. You don't want to buy another bed. The idea of being intimate while you sleep is nice for 5 minutes, but then we can cuddle and we can go our separate ways. That can't happen in a twin XL. Some nights you don't want to cuddle. It's just, I understand what he's saying. It will force you to be close all the time, but we shouldn't be close all the time. We should do nothing all the time. We need to have options, especially when we sleep.
No. I can't even get into the mindset of somebody who would suggest this.
And when I said we should do nothing all the time, I mean, there is nothing that we should be doing at all times.
Yeah. No, and moving in with someone is amazing, right? It's a huge step in a relationship. But people don't talk enough about how, if you're used to having a lot of time alone and then you're never alone, that's a shift. And having, I don't know, your corner of the bed, we can't even have that now. He kind of sounds like a nightmare. And you absolutely need to nip this in the bud. This is not normal. 2 adults sleeping in a bed at the smallest bed that is acceptable for 2 grown adults to sleep in is a full.
No, I feel he heard this on some podcast that gives, I know, I don't want to denigrate Huberman by saying this was one of his theories, because honestly I don't think it was, but I feel it's a podcast that attempts to give relationship advice in quirky out of the box ways, and I'm just letting you know they made this up out of their butt. Whatever study he showed you that it makes it better, find a study that it makes it worse.
And that's the amazing thing about studies.
You heard on your podcast that it will make you fucking hate each other.
That's also the amazing thing about studies. You can always conveniently find a study that supports your thesis. These studies that are always released, having steak will make you redhead. They seriously make stuff up. It's amazing.
No, they literally once did a study where they said that Lucky Charms are healthier than steak. And they actually did. They put that on the food pyramid. So if they can say that, they can say anything. You guys should go to a hotel for a weekend, stay in a king bed, and all of a sudden your queen beds will feel really small.
Love that. Perspective.
Yeah. No, this obviously cannot stand.
Nip it in the bud. And
it's just not going to happen. So the movers will be bringing your queen bed, even if you have to hire your own movers.
You need to take control of the move now,
even
and coordinate with the company.
Even if he buys a twin bed and puts it in your room, so then you'll bring the queen into the room, and then you'll say, you know what? I feel we'd have a lot more room if we got rid of the twin.
Yeah, no. He brings a twin bed. Buy another one. I guess we're sleeping in separate beds.
You really wanted the dorm life?
Right.
Let's get a roommate
Nostalgia.
too. Let's get a roommate.
Nostalgia. Oh my God. Sicko.
Yeah.
All right, next up. Hey, Swirlies. I'm a mom of a toaster and I need some help. Important context. I'm really introverted. I work all day long talking to people, so it's really draining for me. I've gone to the same hairstylist that I love for 10 years. My appointments are about 2 hours every month. Typically, I spend about 30 minutes of this appointment chatting, catching up while he's working on my hair, and the rest of the time he spends doing business in other parts of the salon, and I'm waiting for my color to set. Just last week, he moved to a new space. It's an 8x8 space all by himself. He's no longer in a salon. The problem now is that he has nowhere to go while my color is setting. He's super chatty, wants to talk the entire time. He's so nice. He does a great job with my hair, but I cannot talk to him for this long every single month. I tried looking at my phone, but he just kept talking. What do I do? Do I go sit in my car while my hair color sets? Do I tell him I need quiet time? Do I find a new hairstylist? Please help.
Well, I feel like you're right to like want to take these 2 hours per month for yourself. And if going to his new studio is not a pleasant experience, then like you don't go there anymore. You could try one more time and maybe like put AirPods in and listen, say, oh, I have to listen to something. Just like make sure to make clear that the conversation is over now. I'm listening to this, the toast, and see what happens. But I do think like if you like the salon that you were at, you were in a good flow, like it's not the craziest thing to just stay there and get a new colorist.
Yeah, this is really tough.
Like what's more important to you, those 2 hours of peace or the exact way that he's doing your hair? Can someone else do it?
I am not an introvert at all, but like this to me sounds like a nightmare too. It's not even so much about being introverted. It's just about like, God, can I get a fucking moment of peace? And Jackie's right. Like you have to weigh what's more important to you, but also like I'm of the mind where it's like, I don't want this person to talk to me, right? But now that we're in this enclosed space, like I would feel weird about not talking. So it's like, what's worse? Like feeling awkward for the 90 minutes or talking for the 90 minutes? Like to me, they're both horrible. I think you need to go to a new salon, like seriously.
And it sounds like you liked your routine of going to the salon. Like it's not just about getting your hair cut and colored. It's also about like those 2 hours of swirly time for you. And if you want to do it in the salon with other people and, you know, drinks and this and that, then you should do that because it's like your time.
Yeah, but breaking up with a hairstylist is also really awkward. And if he like found out that you like go back to the salon that like you guys met at, it's tough. It's tough.
Why? I feel like when hairstylists break out on their own, like it's hard to convince their clientele to come with them. Like it's not a given.
No, it's not. But she went. So like she went. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the hard part. It's like you staying would have been completely acceptable.
Yeah.
But you took the jump and now like you're in the water.
Yeah.
Like, but there's nothing like a good ghost situation really can't fix.
I feel like people in the comments might be able to help you because this just sounds like an eternal
And
issue.
I feel like we have a lot of listeners who are hairstylists and like, how do you know when it's time to talk, when it's time to be quiet?
Yeah.
For me, I feel like we get our hair done with Mahogany and she has her own salon. And I feel like she really lets the person in the chair lead. And I'm so chatty and I like her and think she's interesting and she does like a lot of cool people's hair. So I'm always like, what's going on? And also we just get haircut and blow dry. So when
you don't have to sit in like either the blow dryer's on, we can't speak, and then when it's off, we're talking. Like there's not that much talking time.
And she does all of our hair, so she's always asking about like the other sisters. Like we're in a unique situation because we also don't color our hair
twice a year. You get your hair done once
every
a
month. That's the thing when you color your hair, and that's why I think people have really strong, important relationships with their hairstylists more so than people who get the quarterly cut.
Yeah.
You know, every month. That's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough. All right, third and final, Dear Toasters. Hey, Swirlies, I recently decided to get a financial planner to help me and my husband book our retirement, manage our investments, yada, yada, yada. It was my idea, but my husband took over the execution because his job is less demanding, he has more free time, and he's good at getting things done. We started using a guy one of his family members uses. We really like him. We met him together, filled out the paperwork together, told him our goals. And ever since the initial call and the transfers of our money, this guy only contacts my husband. He calls my husband, emails him updates, and I told my husband that it really bothers me, and my husband totally agreed, started CCing me in his responses, even has said, please include my wife in all your email updates. However, this guy continues to only contact my husband. In the most recent email, he asked my husband if some recent investments were okay, and then proceeded to say, send my hello to your wife. Is it just me or is this incredibly demeaning? This guy does well for us. He comes highly recommended, but it's really starting to annoy me. I also don't want to make the guy who handles my literal future angry. Please help. Do I say something? Do I look for someone else? Do I do nothing? Am I being dramatic? Not that this should matter because he should include me no matter what, but I also make more money than my husband. So more of the money we transfer to him is from my paycheck.
Yeah. So
unacceptable.
This guy is not working for you. Like it's not working out because if he doesn't understand, like one, it's your money, you're the actual boss and he's talking to someone that's not the boss.
Your assistant.
Like he's not, it's just not working out. There are plenty of other people. I would not be sending your money to someone who doesn't even consider you when you work hard for your money. Like it didn't work out. It's time to find a new planner. Plenty of people can probably do what he's doing. I would, and it just doesn't speak to like a good character that he can't find it in himself to include you on the emails when it's mostly your money. Like, it's not okay at any level, whether or not you're just, a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
But the
Even
fact
if you
that
weren't the primary earner, like this is so demeaning.
It's so rude. And it's also like, oh, you don't understand instruction then. How can you be good at other areas of your job if you don't understand that you need to include this person on an email? You must be fucking up elsewhere.
I agree. Like this is a red flag to the point where it's a fireable offense.
And if you're doing it as like, oh no, I understood. I'm just subverting you because I don't think that women should be on these emails. Well, then you certainly have to go.
Jackie and I just had an experience with this, and we can speak to this because like we're women who own our own business. We do well. We're earners in our families. And when we were booking our house for the Hamptons, the previous house, not this one, we took charge, obviously. Like if we waited for our husbands to book a house, like we never would have made it out to the Hamptons for Swirly Summer.
There would be no Swirly Summer.
And we found it fun. Like we were excited to take it. We didn't take it on like begrudgingly. We were like, no, don't get out. Ben was trying to help. I'm like, get the hell out. And once we found the house, we were contacting with the previous landlord, and he was like, who's going to be on the lease? And Jackie was like busy that day. So I was like, I'll do it. It literally doesn't matter. Like we're all paying for the house. Like we're all contributing, but like whoever's name is on the paperwork means nothing. It's not like, if something happens, you're going to run away.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, just me. Like, here's my information, name, address, email. And he was like, will anyone else be on the lease? I'm like, no.
No, I think you were like, oh, Jackie, yeah, my sister.
No, I said no. He's like,
okay.
So then he calls and he's like, actually he had his agent call him and was like, he's feeling uncomfortable about it just being you. Like he wants someone else. And I knew what the subtext was. It was like, he wants your husband on it. So of course I said, sure, here's my sister. I'm like, oh, you don't want one woman? Here's two.
Yeah.
And they both shut up. Like, and we literally had like the same name, same address, same everything. And I was like, same person for like the money. I was like, yeah, no, you want two here. And these two big women. There you go. And I was so offended. Like seriously, I was like, I don't even want to rent this house, but it was so hard to find a house. I just shut up. So I understand. It's so unacceptable. It's so rude. Jackie's 100% right. And, I hate to like, cancel a good thing. Give him an opportunity, say like whatever.
No, you said.
You did. And not only that, well, your husband said it. If you had said like, listen, this isn't working out because you like refuse to include me as like even think of me. But she's right. Like this is a person who has access to all of your money. You don't want to make them angry in the slightest. Like you got to go. There are a lot of financial planners, business managers who do a great job. Good for you for making more than your husband. Good for you for getting to a place where you like have investments.
It's not working out. It's not a fit. That happens. The odds that the first person you go to for anything is going to work out completely is very slim. So it's totally fine that it didn't. He's either intentionally shutting you out because he's like small-minded and has some regressive idea of how the world works, even though it's your fucking money. Or he cannot follow a simple instruction, which does not bode
They're both bad.
For his acumen.
Both bad potential scenarios that you got to get yourself out of, Swirly.
I don't know which one's worse, honestly.
You just love to see a woman in business thriving, though. Good for you.
Good for you. You worked too hard to deal with this disrespect / and or incompetence.
Got him. Thank you to everyone who wrote in. If you have written to us in the past, we've read your submission and you have an update for us, we love to read the updates. So send us an email to yourtoasters@gmail.com. Thank you so much to everybody for listening to this episode of The Toast. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for listening to The Toast Monday Morning Show, where we deliver the fast stories you need to remember every Friday on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up. Also, available as podcasts and podcasts we found on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, Public Video, Area Castbox, all the places. We've listened to podcasts. So leave 5-star review about how beautiful, about how stunning, about how wickedly talented we are.
Love ya. Bye.